Well, Man United ready to enter the mix of signing Frenkie de Jong. A deal is coming in, a story is coming in from very credible sources, Grammy Bailey, and obviously Scout Sounders, very much known for really leaking stories. That first tier one journalists go ahead and really verify. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. As Mejia, very good player that has gone ahead to really renew his contract at Man United. The 20-year-old forward stays at the club, confirmed as by Fabrizio Romano, and obviously the Brazilian Antony Santos has gone ahead and really issued a statement after a long while when he was accused by his former girlfriend of sexual assault down in Manchester. So smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, we are having a story of Frenkie de Jong, and you know, every time we are into this, you know what happens. It's all about daily updates concerning Frenkie de Jong. Some of you hate to hear about it, but we are here to bring you the latest news and information as far as this is concerned. We've been told by Scout Sounders and Grammy Bailey of the 90-minute football that Manchester United retain an interest in Frenkie de Jong and would be prepared to enter the mix to sign him dependent on availability. Erik ten Hag adores de Jong and still sees him as the perfect midfielder for his project. That is it. No doubt about this sensational player that has gone ahead to really be so much onto Erik ten Hag's head day in, day out, and most of you really know that he is really a very talented and good player that the world has seen, and he believes that he has a lot to do with this side of Man United. I understand the obsession of Erik ten Hag for this guy known as Frenkie de Jong, because he might be the missing piece in his jigsaw. That is it. He might be the missing piece in his jigsaw, and believes that if at all he's played him alongside Casemiro, it will work out well for Erik ten Hag. When you look at the fee of Frenkie de Jong, agreed about last summer was 75 million euros. At first it was 85, then United negotiated it down to 75. Now, right now I know he can go for like 80 million euros. That is like 70 million pounds. And I think if at all a chance is given to United, I think I'd rather go in for Frenkie de Jong rather than a Moise Caicedo. That is it, or a Mason Mount, because this player does everything that Caicedo does, and he does it better. He does everything that Mason Mount does, and he does it better. And these are on prayers that you never know. Stuff might happen in between Barcelona and Manchester United to really get this deal over the line. And I'm sure that if at all the player is available, trust me, what is going to happen? It's all going to be about the team of Man United being informed first by Barcelona. That's it. If Barcelona are going to sell Frenkie de Jong, they will know that the suitor who wanted him last summer is still available and is still interested. And I think his agent will call Erik ten Hag this time around. It's a serious deal, and then he'll find himself in a situation of obviously coming to Man United. We all know that the reason as to why it never came to pass was all about Frenkie de Jong telling Barcelona to pay him his deferred wages of 17 million euros. And Barcelona were not willing to meet that. And it shows you how bad we missed out on a signing that would have gone ahead to really get in, especially if at all we had a very credible board, because it was all us about negotiating a deal with Barcelona that let's get in Frenkie de Jong at a cheaper fee and then pay him his money, because you guys are not willing to pay him his money. We'd have gone ahead to get that deal over the line, but because of our moderate negotiators, they couldn't find a deal over the line. But this time around, United are prepared to go all out for this lad, and if at all he's up for grabs. They are willing to put their bodies on the line to sign the player. And we all know that there is no reason Australia would have gone ahead to go for the player for 2-3 months when the player is not given green light to Erik ten Hag. That never happens in the game of football. You know, a player first gives his acceptance to the manager of the club, then the club goes ahead to sign that player. That is it. So there was no reason of people coming out and really blowing it out of proportion that Frenkie de Jong never wanted to come to Man United. He wanted, but stuff couldn't happen as there were deferred wages of 17 million euros that Barcelona couldn't meet in the contract of Frenkie de Jong. So it really delayed that deal, and that deal never came to pass. And here we come in a different way altogether to let you know that United is ready to go all in for Frenkie de Jong if at all a chance is provided to Manchester United. And I really understand that the chance is going to be given because Barcelona need to sell players. When you look at the likes of Frenkie, I've just seen his deal that a team in Saudi Arabia wants to pay 20 million euros. Those are peanuts on the amount of money that Barcelona need to get themselves back into the good books of the finance. That's it, because they need 210 million euros. So if at all you sell Frenkie, you'll be having 190 million euros left, meaning that you need to get players like Frenkie de Jong who can raise close to 80 million euros, Rafinha who can raise close to 80, and obviously put them on the market and raise close to 160. Those two can really elevate the transfer window of Barcelona better and better. And that shows you exactly what they're supposed to do and why this deal of Frenkie de Jong is back in the news. I understand it's a 50-50 for Barcelona, but the coming in of Ilkay Gundogan can really give them wars to get in what they want. And they are going in for Aurel Romiol, and I think they are planning on a very, 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 very huge sell of one of the players in the midfield. And only player in that midfield that can really get them 80 million pounds plus, it's Frenkie de Jong. But my worry comes in through after Arsenal signed which guy? After Arsenal signed Declan Rice at 105 million pounds, that is like 130 million euros. Barcelona might tell United, although we agreed the deal last summer, but you have to include more 15 million euros into that deal to tally to 100, because in their calculation, they have to sell one player who is worth 100 million euros, such that they find others that can really equal that level of the money. So in their calculation, they believe that they can get in players of 40 million euros and obviously get into dislodge some that can really give them that amount of money that is being requested by the La Liga to see this deal over the line. Now, Antony has been one of those players that has been accused of sexually harassing the ex-girlfriend, and investigations are ongoing down in Brazil. And for the very first time he has spoken on this issue. He said, for you, after submitting my statement at the police station, where the investigation of the investigation involving my name is being conducted, I wanted to speak publicly for the first time since I was falsely accused of assault. I stayed silent until the moment so that nothing could interfere with the investigation process. But during all those days, my family and I suffered in silence. Despite being born and raised in a very needy community, I had never been through a situation similar to this in which a false assault charge resulted in a preliminary and unfair public judgment onto the part of shame. After the closure of the investigation, my innocence will be proven, certain that justice will prevail, and the damage initially caused to my image will be in the past. Thank you for the countless messages of support received at this very difficult time. Now, that is Antony for you, and has gone ahead and really issued a very huge statement, and we all understand why has gone ahead to issue one like that, because it seems like he's one of those that are victims of women coming out and obviously going ahead to really to really report them to police every time they feel like they are losing them. And this is a technique that women use, especially in those well-developed countries, that they'll come out and throw in a case over you to say that you either pay them or you either don't chuck them and walk out of their lives, because they know that they are so much protected in those countries, because in those countries a woman comes first and animal follows, and a man comes last. So it shows you that there is no chance. Sorry about that. There is no chance for you if at all you are really guilty. And it looks like Antony has gone ahead to issue out a statement just preventing his name and just securing his name in the public court, because the public always takes this with a lot of emotions. Like you saw how they did onto Mason Greenwood. They really took it in with huge emotions, and we found ourselves in a situation of not being able to understand exactly what happened. But for Antony, it looks like he's really finding himself into proper position of really being back in Manchester after police is really taking on investigations down in Brazil. So as it stands, it's all about Antony doing the job that he's supposed to do, that is playing the game of football, and we anticipate that this all ends in favor of Antony and gets back to the club of Manchester United. We don't want to see another Greenwood scenario happening down here in Manchester, like it happened to Dani Alves, because he has even gotten in prison, and so we want things to go on better and better and better. Now there is another huge prospect coming into the academy, 20 years of old. He's known as Mateo Mejia, very, very talented player, and I like the way he really bangs those balls into the back of the nets. He almost makes every chance count, and Fabrizio Romano has told us that official completed. Mateo Mejia signs new deal at Man United. It's agreed and completed. 20-year-old forward stays at the club. Now, most of you don't know how he looks because you don't follow academy football, but we who really do a lot of research and obviously follow it up, let us show you how this lad really looks, because you need to know who Mejia is. So that is Mejia, and he's a very good player that plays as a forward at Manchester United. So Mejia is a Colombian footballer who plays as a striker for Manchester United, and he was born in Spain, and he plays for the under-21s of Manchester United. So he's really one of those that you would always want to play in various positions. He sometimes plays as a right winger, but he can also play as a left forward, and he can also lead the line. And when you look at his stats and highlights, he's really one of those you can reckon with to come in through and obviously break through into the United squad this season, provided that we might not be having enough centre forwards at the club of Man United. And if at all Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to recommend the board to give him a new contract, that means there's seen a lot of potential into him. And every young star that is going to stay at the club of Man United has something special that Erik ten Hag has gone ahead to discover into that player. So guys, your thoughts onto United ready to sign Frenkie de Jong are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Mejia's new deal? And lastly, Antony throwing in a public statement after his false accusations, all allegations that he sexually sexually harassed his former girlfriend down in Manchester. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Me out. Happy Eid al-Adha to the Muslims all over the world.